Okay, so this is day 9 of February's challenge. So I just want to give you a high-level overview of where I'm at the moment. So as you know, I like to use this tool because it gives me that high-level overview so I can really drill down. And if I need to make any tweaks or changes, it keeps it nice and agile for me so I can do that. So I'll give you an example of where there's a big change. I should have been training Tuesday the 13th of Feb. But as you can see, that doesn't appear on here. Tuesday wasn't an option for me. I didn't train. Some things came up. And all that'll happen now is that I'll roll that on. So I have to incorporate it into the remaining days. So I've said I'm going to do Saturday 17th of Feb. So whether or not I do Saturday the 17th of Feb or the following Saturday, either way, I've just rolled up to incorporate the pull-ups target. So the challenge stays within the project base, which has been 20 days, essentially. That's how it works. So let's have a look at the pull-ups target. Listen, there's not much to say on this. Pull-ups going absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. Each session, 250 pull-ups, the target. I'm achieving that with the 5 kilogram weight. No issues there. 3,000 pull-ups remaining. And I've got 12 days left of the challenge. So I'm absolutely fine with that. Rings dips. This has probably been one of the most exciting things to actually see and to be able to share with you in terms of the progress so far, where I've really found something mentally and physically challenging. I've come through it and you can see how that's gone on. So it's great to sort of share that. I love these moments, if I'm honest with you. This is just how it is. So if you remember, day 1 of the challenge, I did get the 250 rings dips, but it was very gnarly how I got there. You can see at the end of the YouTube video, it was just literally a grind to get there. And I was reminded that it was mentally and physically challenging. Day 2, did not achieve it because I always said, you know what, if I break form, then listen, I'm going to stop because the challenge needs to fit into my daily life. And so I can do all the other things that I need to do or want to do. It's got to fit in there. But at the point that I break form, it stops. So day 2, didn't achieve the rings dips target. Day 3, day 4, day 5. And if you remember, around this point here, I realised I've got to change something. I've got to do something different to try and get different results or different outcomes, should we say. And what I decided to do, I think it was around about day 4 or even day 5, is change it so that the reps in the set were a maximum of 4. Even if I thought I could do 5, just go for 4. And then slowly what happened around this period is it started to work. And then we move into day 6, and do you know what? I hit the 250 rings dips. That was achieved. Day 7. Now, day 8, you're probably thinking, why 280 rings dips there? Well, of course, what I need to do is look at how many rings dips are remaining, how many days left in the challenge there are that I've set out for myself, so there's 12 days. 3340, for example, divided by 12 means that really each session in the days that I've got planned out, I need to be focusing on 280 rings dips. And if I do that, I'm going to achieve the rings dips target for February. So far so good. The 4 reps max per set is working out. And I've got no plans to change it and increase that to 5 reps max just yet. But I'll see how the challenge unfolds and the journey presents itself. But listen, you will be on that journey with me. So I've just opened up this fortune cookie right now, and this is the message that's come from it, and I will 100%, I will take that. All the energy you will use up will pay off. Love it. Okay, so I want to give you an overview or an update on how I'm actually feeling about the challenge so far. So I've just shown you the logical side, the mathematical side, the numbers, the project-based planning side of it, and you can see how that's panning out. But let me talk to you about the emotional side of it, the feelings, all that sort of stuff. So, listen, you know what? When I set February's challenge, I wanted to introduce something that was a movement that I actually really do enjoy, and that is the rings dips. It is it's a lovely movement to perform. It is complex. It is complex. It can be simplified, but it is complex. And there's so many different things that you can do with it, just like with a pull up, you know. So I am enjoying it, and that's the key thing. I'm enjoying the challenge so far. Truth, it does feel like it's a bit of a come down on the pull up side of things. So I know that I've increased the weight, and I've said right, 5,000 pull ups is the target for Feb. Excuse me. Um, and add the weight, the 5 kilogram weight, but doing 250 pull ups in a session, that volume there isn't, it's not what I'm used to doing. So I think there's a part of me that when I started, I sort of missed that. Where I'm at right now, so I'm approaching like almost the halfway point of the challenge. So I worked out that it's about 20 days, 20 training days for Feb for the challenge, and I'm on day now, so I'm like 50% of the way through. I do miss the larger volumes of the pull-ups, I must admit, I do. I think it's just something that I've really taken to, and it's a big part of me, big part of who I am. I practice the movement, I've spent literally uh, a long time practicing the pull-up and then repeating that movement hundreds of thousands of times, that I've kind of like, I've fallen in love with it. Let's be honest. If I was at the point now and I was talking to you and I was like, yeah, they're all right, these pull-ups, you'd just be thinking, what is this guy talking about? I I love the pull-up. I love pull-ups. I love doing it. I think for me at this point in my life now, I can just see this movement staying with me throughout my life. Why wouldn't it? I enjoy it so much. So February's challenge, I'm enjoying it. I like the fact that I've introduced the rings dips to it, which is a bit different. That volume, should I say, and that's become part of the challenge. Yeah, and I'm enjoying it. But listen, you know something? I didn't always used to do challenges like this. Definitely not public challenges anyway. But I remember when I was when predominantly what I would train would be weighted exercises. So I'm talking additional weights. I'm talking things like deadlifts, bench press, those types of movements, and squats, with the bar squats, front squats, back squats, that type of stuff. And you know what? That was also a big part of my life. I'm going pre January 2015, and I used to train those movements for years. It was a different time for me back then, if I'm honest with you. I was a different person. I thought differently. My value system was different. Back then, if we would have met, you'd probably see me. I'd be walking into the training facility, into the gym. I'd be snaffling some sort of protein bar or shake or something like that, and I was very focused on eating all of the time, thinking that by eating loads, I'm gonna get bigger, and those muscles are just gonna appear, and all that sort of stuff. You would have enjoyed training with me, I'd say, in the sense of the mindset that I've got now. Very much, I've always been somebody that likes to push myself, to keep going, all that sort of stuff. But I think back then my mindset would have been, yeah, I was definitely more focused on aesthetics, on just, I don't know, just eating loads of food, getting big, lifting heavy weights, all that sort of stuff. And you know what? I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. It's just looking back at that person on who I was. I didn't even know why I was doing it. I sort of fell out of love with it. I didn't really know why I was doing it. And I think I was a bit lost a couple of times. So I tried different workouts. Like, I used to get magazines and stuff and just check out people's different workouts, that what they were doing, and just follow those. So I was almost just doing what somebody else was doing, like 3 sets of 10 reps, or whatever it is, a bench press. I didn't really have my own style, my own flow. I think I was influenced and inspired by so many different ways of training. I think at one point I didn't exactly know why I was doing what I was doing. I enjoyed elements of it, but not all of it. Whereas now I can confidently say that putting project plans like this together, setting challenges, having that level of focus, that level of discipline, it's completely different for me now. I feel like I'm focusing on the elements that I can control. You know, those are the input bits, the me bits, but I have plans, I have strategies, I have ways of doing things, and I really do take all of that into account. And that's why I share so much with so many different people on platforms like this and in real life about how I, for example, started to do the pull-up, how I do the pull-up, and other movements, and breathing meditation, and all those different elements that form part of my overall, me, Phil Jessé. You know, I didn't. I think back then I didn't share as much. I definitely didn't share as much. I almost wanted to find that secret way of doing that training and just sort of maybe keep it to myself. And the truth is, there isn't really a secret way of doing something. There are just ways of doing things. And sometimes those ways may work for you, and sometimes they don't. And if something isn't going your way, it's trying to understand why that is. And I think ultimately being connected to it, I think why I'm doing something, why I'm doing that thing, that's probably one of the most important things for me, is understanding why I'm doing it. So I can tell you right now why I'm doing, for example, the February challenge, is it keeps me focused, it keeps me disciplined, it keeps me in joy because I enjoy the movements that I'm performing. Sure, I've had some challenges along the way, mentally and physically, but that's what makes it challenging. That means that I can talk about it with other people. I can reflect upon that with myself because I'm pushing myself. I'm pushing my limits. I'm seeing where I'm at. And I like all that sort of stuff. I like all that sort of stuff because I've not made it. It's not like I've reached this peak and it's like, right, I've done that thing now and that's it and it's game over for me. And I'm hanging up my training shoes and my gymnastic rings and I don't need to do anything else. It's a way of life. And I think by thinking like that, it means that I can alleviate any types of major pressures in the sense of like, I've got to do this. I've got to do this thing. If I don't do this thing, that's it. It's game over. I apply pressures to myself to keep me focused, for me to keep pushing me. But ultimately, it's more self-serving and self-rewarding to be kind to myself, and to be kind to others. But that doesn't mean not pushing myself, not pushing my limits. Those two things are completely different. That's why I like to set challenges. And you know what? I'm enjoying it. 2024, it's only just started. I'm still in Feb. I've done things different. In 2023, I said, right, I'm going to do 100,000 pull-ups in 2023. And as you know, if you've been following my journey, I did that in 151 days. And it was immense. Do you know what? It was so exciting. The amount of conversations that I had with different people and just being on that journey and discovering lots of different things about myself, things that I sort of already knew, things that I didn't know, getting out of my comfort zone, moving into enjoyment, excitement, gratitude, having some downtimes, really struggling mentally and physically with different things, and just life, getting in the way, things that I didn't have planned, and how I dealt with those things and how I responded to that and how I came through. And I think doing certain challenges, personal challenge projects as I like to call them, or fitness challenges, which incorporate mental fitness and physical fitness, I think that is forging like who I am, like who is Phil Jessé, third person there, but yeah, who I am as a person. I think it's just a continual journey and I'm forging what that looks like. And it's literally one step at a time, each day at a time, each movement at a time. And I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. Look at me. Right, I'm motivated now. Listen, I'm going. Let's get to the challenge.